Wonderful. Oh my.
Hello, everybody. Hello, watchers. And welcome to a very special episode of The Watchers Present The Spooky Corner with your hosts, Brutality Pace, Cutthroat Cousin Neil, Hellacious Man, and the zombie.
AKA Pumpkin Spice.
He gave me nothing to work with there. Welcome, everybody. The masks are off. We're deep diving today. Let's do
Oh my god.
Critters 2, baby.
Critters 2. This is our last stop at the Halloween horror movie tour.
This is how we're ending it. On a
super high note, of course.
Highest of notes.
The highest notes that we got.
As magical as I remembered it. What about everybody else?
My first time actually seeing it.
First time too.
Oh, all right. You never forget your first kind of. All right. Cool. All right. Do you? That's interesting. You know, I didn't remember much except that like they were freaking adorable.
The critters.
Yeah. So I was like charmed, dude. It's just like Gremlins. It's the same CGI designers.
That's what everybody compares this movie to. This is like
Gremlins very similar. They're little sentient demons who just like eat to their heart's content, but they're like little furball tumbleweeds.
Sounds like me and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no.
Sounds like me and Thanksgiving eating that thing.
And it was the same CGI team. What was it? Something Bro Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, they worked on what the hell they worked? They worked on Gremlins. They worked on Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I like the puppets.
They worked, yeah. They did a lot of crazy, pretty good work. They worked on freaking Elf, like all kinds of stuff.
Well, I remember the first time I saw, because I was late to the Critters party. I mean, well, I saw it when I was a kid. But it didn't catch my attention until I saw its little cameo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie when Raphael went to the theater. And he's like, where do they come up with this stuff? I'm like, what is that? Is that a real movie? And that's when I saw the first movie, The Critters.
Nice. Critters 2 was probably memorable for me because I was a wee lad and there were boobies in it, to be honest. But like, yeah, like, the director, he also worked on RoboCop, the sculptors. The director later went on to do the Riddick movies of all things. But yeah, he did some interesting stuff. Not at all in the same vein. Well, I guess sci-fi, but
yeah, diverse set of movies.
Right.
I know, right?
All right. So first impressions. So we know. It was Zombie and Bass's first time watching it. Cousin Neil watched it, at least the first one, a long time ago. So it's still a little fuzzy. Just like the Critters. Hey! All right, so what did you guys think?
Comedy. Straight comedy, man.
Would you have been scared if you had seen it as a little guy, though?
As a little kid, I think I would have been scared. Yeah.
Honestly,
I believe
from
so.
the design perspective, those critters are pretty scary.
Like,
from when I was a kid.
Your cat be coughing up a hairball, and you're like, "Get out of here, demon!"
Especially since you're comparing it to the adorable Gremlins.
Yeah. But it's funny because the balls of fuzz are like, they're just so. I mean, anything could be those little freaking balls of fuzz.
Yeah, and the
So
teeth.
like,
Those damn teeth.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
And then-
yeah.
And they shoot those tranquilizers at you like
Oh, the little poison darties.
little poison darties.
The little evil Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gotta go fast.
Hitman, let me ask you. I'm sure you've seen a lot of sequels in your day about movies. Where does Critters 2, go down as a sequel compared to other sequels?
Well, what makes it interesting, and the reason I chose 2 as opposed to the first one, or I don't know, number 11 or whatever the shit they ended on, is because what they took from the first one was every single thing and they doubled down on it. They found a balance of violence and fear. So there were real stakes, like they were eating everyone alive, but they were humorous. So they kept that. They had that humor that like 80s and early 90s movies only could pull off. And they had pretty good visual effects, and it did not try to branch off too much further than that. Like every single character grew and developed from the first movie, and it just improved on it in every single way. So I think it was really good. I mean, Terminator 2, I think, was like the best sequel there ever was.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's been many more.
So you'd say Critters 2 was a worthy sequel, because usually the sequel usually bombs because it can never recapture the magic of the first one.
Well, I think at the time it bombed. Like it only made like 4 million, so like it did not do great. But
in your opinion, though, as a movie, just on its sole, you like it. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's great.
Well, me like seeing both. I actually see where Hitman was actually saying where they took one elements from the other, and it's kind of true. They actually had the bounty hunters actually doing stuff and not just showing up, swinging their big cannons around, saying "Where are the critters?" instead of actually showing up where the critters are, like actually killing one. So in the first one, they just show up and they're like, "Where are the critters? What the fuck is a critter?" So yeah.
So all right. So we'll get into it. So it starts off with the eggs from the first movie.
Sorry, before I interrupt, let's give a quick recap just in case for people that are like, what the heck is this going on? So these critters were supposed to be going to prison, but they ended up doing escape, and they hijacked a spaceship, and that's how they ended up in Earth. And one of the main bosses, I guess, from the prison or the ward sends out these bounty hunters to go collect them to make sure they get eradicated.
So he sends Dr. House and Spazzy Seinfeld in a shapeshifter. And those are the bounty hunters. Well, I guess Spazzy Seinfeld hadn't joined yet. He's
not yet. Yeah, he's a drunk yet.
It's just like Seinfeld. Well, like he has like crazy hair.
So like Hitman was saying that towards the end of the first one, it is revealed that they thought they eradicated them, but inside the hen house they laid eggs, and they went dun dun dun, and then Critters 2.
And then the eggs they just look like moldy cheese, like they're just little balls of mold. Like, I don't know who would even touch them, thinking they were just eggs. Like the teenager finds them.
Yeah.
Like, I found in this barn. I've been drinking and smoking it.
So he goes to the shop.
I'm looking at the eggs right now. Yeah, it does look like moldy cheese.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch those eggs.
Yeah.
But I mean, stupid teenagers, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna sell this to you. Yeah, you wanna?" And, pawn shop guy's like, I don't want these. Who the hell would want these?"
Exactly.
He's like, I'll take them for a case of beer. He's like, all right, load them in the truck.
I bet you can make a graph out of alien eggs in movies. It's all the different design.
Like, smash, fry, or marry.
Oh god.
I think the goat is probably the alien eggs, right?
That's like,
it has to be the.
Because they're like Cadbury's. Anything can come out of those suckers.
They kind of did look like that, like there's like spotted everywhere, a little greenish,
But that's
Mango went bad.
That's what this movie was trying to pass off. Like even that's what the teenager was telling pawn shop guy, that hey, these are Easter eggs. They're decorated. Take them like they're Fabergés or something. And he's like, all right, I'll take them for a case of beer. All right. So they go back to his place. Meanwhile,
Playboy magazines.
Yeah, we haven't got. All right. So meanwhile, they show the bounty hunters and generic Krang-looking dude from friggin' Turtles just pops on a little hologram, and he's telling the bounty hunters, "Turn around, your job's not done." And young Dr. House says, "No, we already eradicated all the Krites." And he says, "No, there are more. You need to turn around." And Spazzy Seinfeld comes in and, "Hey, I'm a bounty hunter too."
You're like, wait a second.
He's like, let's go hunt some bounties. So then they go back to town and they show Barry Brown. Barry Brown's back in town, and he gets off the school bus. I don't know how he got into town on a school bus, but he gets off. As soon as he gets off the bus, everybody's like in a hubbub, like they're losing their shit. Oh my god, the kid who helped get rid of the Christ is back. That means we can't ignore them anymore. Like, it really happened. So they start the presses, because newspapers existed back then. So they're making it. It's a whole big to do about this kid. Then they go back. And they show, right. And they show. What do they show? Oh, they show the dog going nuts over the eggs at the pawn shop owner's house. And so he tosses them in his barn. He trades them for some porno mags and some beer. And then he goes to take the teenager back to town. So he takes him to the diner. And one of the Playboy magazines falls off the truck into the highway. He's like, "Man, I hate teenagers." Then it goes back to Pawn Star's barn. And he goes back in and he's like,
"Hey, Chumley, how much were these eggs?"
Yeah. He's like, "Oh man, I don't have any more beer." And then he hears some noise and he sees that the eggs are cracked open. He's like, "Oh, what's going on there?" And then we see, wow, we never see this anymore, because like, who does that? It's a dog. The dog is dead. The dog is being eaten alive. The guy jumps up on his stool and he's like, I need to grab and hang onto the roof. But he can't, and they chew the stool. They like, that happened there. And then they go to the church for the big Easter celebration, the Easter egg hunt. And the Easter Bunny's gathering all his eggs. Where'd he get the eggs? You guessed it! Big Lots. No, the pawn shop.
Target.
I can't believe you there for a second.
Still got the tags on. So we see him getting his gross moldy eggs that nobody cares about. And he's hiding them, being a good little Easter Bunny. He jumps through the window after having his crotch bitten off by crazy little fuzzballs. So then the whole church gets to see him eaten alive, and they all rush out of there. So then they try to track down the source of the eggs. Where'd you get those eggs? Reverend, I got them from the pawn shop. And they go back to town to strategize. Our sheriff shows up! Bow, bow, bow! He shows up with a 6-shooter, baby! Bow, bow. He's blasting them left and right. You see their faces flying off? That's his gun-slinging welcome back. So they roll up to Bob's Burger Barn. Oog kicks open the door, and that's when we see the hilarious buffet scene where everyone's just going crazy. Just like, start rescuing the townsfolk, getting them all together to meet in the town hall. They go into an alley to save somebody, right? But it's not all of them, because the others are in the town hall at this point.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, so it's just fan favorite Lee goes in, and Lee's like, "I'm gonna save the day." And
she's a girl, man. You should remember, because so she gets out, right, Lee, and then
she finds another.
Yeah, he's fine. He's staring.
Cardboard cutout. Who's the cardboard cutout?
It's freaking Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he's like looking at it, he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, no, not that. And he pulls out the Playboy bunny again. And he transforms back into the girl.
Yeah, she was not the nurse. So then she goes and she's in the alley trying to save some people from that restaurant, I think, right? The like Italian place.
Yeah.
But they're getting eaten, and she is unable to save them because she gets swarmed. And then she just like powers out.
Oh.
And then
She gets eaten, and then they jump to Lee, so Lee is dead.
yep. So
RP
the
Lee.
rest of our heroes run out and save Lee.
The girl's like,
Not
ah!
Not save per se, but
They're trying to find her. You see the skeleton arm, and then that breaks Ugg, whatever, Ugg. And you said a rock and roll guy, but I guess he stirs so much emotion that he transforms back to another Faceless. She goes, ah, and he goes back being Faceless.
yep.
Now he's so depressed too.
It was
We
so-
have a depressed bounty hunter.
How do we kill these things? Oh, we gotta lure them out and lure them to this factory and then blow them up. Who would do such a stupid thing? Like obviously Barry Brown's back in town, you know.
He like, since it was my plan, I guess I'll do it, but I need some help.
So yeah, they start luring them out, making a whole scene, making a bunch of noise. They lure them to I don't remember what that building is.
So they all roll inside that factory, you know, and they start munching like crazy. And then you notice like the one big one was not going in. It's like what? Like look, the Brown tells what's it called, Madison. Not
And the
Madison.
big one was like the implied leader too,
Yeah.
the one who assimilated the murder meatball. he
So. So yeah, so they were trying to get in there, and then she's like, well, "Where's he not going?" And all of a sudden, what is their big reveal? No, the big reveal was that the main one of the critters was actually not a critter; it was Ugg in disguise. So he managed to copy their face and turn into a critter. So in that, like, oh, the door! So they slammed the door on it, and then after that, they're like, "All right, blow it!" So they blow it, and they're like, "Yay, it's finally over!" But then there's rumbling and the tumbling. Oh, you see like all the critters united together into a giant ball, and they roll back out. So they break that thing. We get a hero sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice, Charlie. But I'm saying, and that fucking spaceship, you're telling me there's no missiles, no lasers, no nothing?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did it get to that point that the only weapons they had was the shotguns?
So, and the spaceship, like, all right, like, you just decided to do kamikaze to the giant fur balls. So they went, ah! So Charlie died, and then the fur balls died. And then he's like, it's Charlie? So he's dragging a parachute, like, can somebody get this parachute off me?
And
So then Charlie meets Charlie. Go ahead.
just because this line, my guys, like,
So beam me up, Scotty. So he gets beamed up.
that was the plan all along. You saw when he was
Charlie.
like, "You wouldn't leave me behind, would you?" He was like,
Like, no, of course not.
"Well, he's Johnny."
So yeah, gets beamed up. Charlie stays, becomes a new sheriff, and Brown and yeah, they go in the bus, and that's roll credits.
They start
Yeah.
getting their smooch on, baby. Finally. Oh yeah, they start making their own critters.
Ding 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 ding.
And that was Critters 2. I know there's like 5 Critters after this.
Oh my god.
So
Yes,
What?
there were many.
it's 5. So
They laid Modi eggs all over the damn place. What'd you think of the movie, Zombie?
it was a movie. It was there. It was an hour and 20, I think it was, and I guess it checked one box. You know, I needed a laugh, and I got that.
Yeah,
And-
I mean that's mostly what it was. It was just for funsies. Like, it didn't overstay its welcome. It never dragged on too long. It was just there. Like, we got a problem, kill it. I still
Wait,
love it. I'm still gonna
Hitman,
watch
have you seen the other critters too? I mean, not 2, but critters 3, 4, and 5.
it. No.
No.
So he loves it very much. You could tell.
Well, I mean, would have stopped you from watching those other ones? Do you care?
No, I don't know. Not really.
You go chase those tapes and what's it called?
Because right, like, I don't. It was self-contained. I don't need to see what else happens. They already got their arcs.
I mean, this would be like similar to like the Tremors franchise.
Yes.
1, 2.
Yeah, it's
I
very
remember 2. Tremors 2 was pretty decent because you actually got to see them with legs right there on the way.
That's what I'm saying. You could see them evolving, you know?
Yeah, and there was no like crazy evolution that like drew me back in at that point. I was like, you know, like I've already seen
Here's the question: would you be down for a Critters? Because nowadays it's all the rage of reboot.
Why not? I mean, it was a B movie to begin with, so it never needs a huge budget.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, see, some people like don't
I
touch
thought I was
the
watching
original.
I thought I was watching a Tim Burton movie.
Nah, yeah, exactly. Like watching. I mean, the old one is always gonna be there. I never understood that logic. Like, no, you ruined the sanctity of it. Like, not.
Yeah, it's true.
They change the continuity sometimes. But it's like, so just watch the old ones and pretend that second part never happened. What is it? It does not affect you.
That's true.
So what? And I mean, who cares what happens beyond that? Like, what if Barry goes to jail? I don't give a shit. He did his thing. Cool.
He's a hero in a different town. It follows him.
Yeah. I don't need to see what happens beyond that. Yeah.
No, speaking of the creature design and stuff, I mentioned before on Disney Plus they have that documentary about Industrial Light and Magic, and a lot of the people, the puppeteers and the creature designers, they came from there. And you actually get to see, as the years pass, their jobs diminish because everyone's transitioning to 3D. And
3D digital.
you kind of, to be honest, you lose the magic a little bit. You see, everything's so CG heavy. It's hard for the audience, for their minds to get blown. To see cool stuff nowadays. Now it's all just taken for granted. Yeah, I've seen that in a video game.
Put that in the post and stuff.
Yeah, and it's not as though I wear the nostalgia goggles. I mean, I don't rewatch or replay or re-listen to anything. Like, I cannot rewatch a series. I don't have comfort movies.
Damn.
Like this movie, I loved it. I have not watched it since I was like 5 or 6, but I remember loving it, and I did still love it. I don't because there's so much new stuff. There's so much stuff.
There really is.
And I'm open to all the new experiences, so I don't like look back. I just want to see what else is out there. But I do still think that there are some techniques and some stuff that can be like revitalized or still has a place, you know?
Hearing your enthusiasm, I'm gonna go check it out. You on me over?
It's fun. Yeah. That's it. Just be like, all right, this is silly. That's it. It's like Gremlins. It's very much like Gremlins.
Yeah. I enjoyed Gremlins more than this, but that's my take.
That's fine. Yeah, that's cool too. Gremlins was great. I ain't even mad.
I just want to see the Playboys.
Only two Playboy mags, 2 pages.
No, it comes to light.
For the Hitman, for Zombie, me, Cousin Neo, and Bass. This is and has been the review of Critters 2, Scary Corner, and the end of the Halloween Horror Movie Tour. Till next time, much love and